Now, here's Eric Allen and Erik Coleman.
Welcome to Inside the Jets. We are broadcasting live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Eric Allen alongside Erik Coleman. Momentarily, we will be joined by Jets center Jonathan Harrison, but the Jets fall to 4-10 on the season with a 29-22 loss to Houston Texans. I don't want to talk about the score right now. I want to lead by talking about the 21-year-old quarterback who is leading this offense right now. We're watching him develop in front of our own eyes. He became the youngest quarterback in NFL history to lead a game-winning drive in Buffalo. He followed that up against a good Houston Texans defense, and you can make the argument that was his best performance as a pro. 24-38, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. He also used his feet, 6 rushes, 35 yards, and he earned a lot of praise for that performance.
Yeah, I mean, he's really grown these last 2 weeks. You know, you've seen Sam Darnold sit back and grow as a quarterback. He's being more efficient. He's more precise. He's decisive with his throws and really attacking the field vertically, which I think is loosening things up underneath for him. I think those couple of weeks with the injury were a big step for him. He was able to sit back, watch Josh McCown run things, watch how defenses are attacking him, just to understand the small nuances of the game. I think it really helped him to step back because he's come back a different player.
To win long-term in the National Football League, you have to have good play at the quarterback position. This guy has all the tools. I've been here since 2001 as a New York Jets employee. The guy that I think of when I watch Darnold, not from a playing perspective in terms of the way they play, their styles, but is Chad Pennington in 2002. That was his first year starting, actually, after sitting and watching Vinny Testaverde for a couple years. Sam Darnold has been put into the fire here early in his rookie season. We didn't know how he was going to respond when he went down with a strained right foot against the Miami Dolphins November 4th. Then he had a month off, and he has come back, and like you said, he really benefited from watching Josh McCown. He talked about that today on the conference call. How a veteran quarterback, a 39-year-old like McCown, orchestrates the practice, goes through the game week, the preparation, and how decisive he was with the reads, even though the offense really wasn't working very efficiently as far as how many points they were scoring, Eric. He learned a lot by watching McCown.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see, you know, from the way he's playing the game. He's making great decisions. He and Robbie Anderson seem to have reconnected. He's taken a lot of shots with him, and I think he's gained more trust from the coaching staff because now they're starting to attack the field vertically. They're starting to take more shots. It's not just checkdowns. It's not just quick screens. They're opening things up for Sam, and he's proving that he can handle the load. You know, leading that 2-minute drive to come back against Buffalo was a huge step. You know, that's not easy. You know, when you talk about elite quarterbacks, I always consider, listen, it's 2 minutes left. You need a touchdown. Does this quarterback strike fear in you? And Sam Darnold showed that he can be that quarterback that can lead his team down the field no matter how far it is, no matter what the circumstance, and get a touchdown for this team.
There were 3 instances against the Houston Texans Saturday night where Darnold used his feet, and you were wondering, is he just going to tuck it and run it? Number 1 was the touchdown pass to Robbie Anderson right before the end of the half. The presence of mind to go right up to the line of scrimmage and then find his crossing receiver for a touchdown. Then there were a couple connections with Chris Herndon where he rolled left one time, rolled right another time, and again kept his eyes down the field. That's what you see veteran quarterbacks do because you know it better than anybody. You, as a former guy who played in the back end, a lot of young quarterbacks who feel the pressure, their eyes go down. His eyes are staying up.
Yeah, you know, and that's what's so impressive about Sam. When I was a rookie, I came into the league with Ben Roethlisberger, and he was known for having one read. If his initial read wasn't open, he was going to tuck it and run. And what Sam has done, he's able to scramble, keep the play alive, keep his eyes down the field, and it makes things so difficult for a guy covering the receivers. You know, you have to cover the initial route, but then once those receivers uncover and things start to just, you know, go off the script, so to speak, it makes it very tough, especially with a guy with a big arm like Sam who can throw the ball vertically on the run.
Inside the Jets is supported by Selective Insurance. Response is everything. How about some of the designs we're seeing with Darnold now? There was a play early on, I believe in the second half, where you saw him spin, move to his left, and then throw a dart to Robbie Anderson for 20 yards. That's a big-time throw.
Yeah, it is a big-time throw. Typically, as a defense, you're expecting that quarterback to roll out to your left. And to see Sam roll out the opposite way, have a design play, it just speaks to what he can do. You know, there's not a lot of quarterbacks who can throw the ball as accurate as he does running to his left. It takes a lot of skill set. You know, you have to get your shoulders across. You have to get your feet set, drive the ball at the right velocity. And Sam has all those tools. And it's exciting to see what he's doing right now because he's showing glimpses of being great. And I think his potential, the sky's the limit. I think he's going to be a great quarterback in this league as long as he continues to progress. And that's something exciting if you're a Jets fan.
What does it mean to you when your peers are talking about you the way they did this week, the week preceding the game, and then after the game when J.J. Watt goes up to Sam Darnold and says, you're going to be a great player in this league? When Bill O'Brien talks about you the way he did, what does that say about the respect he's getting around the National Football League now?
That speaks volumes because they don't have to say that. They don't have to say anything to him. They can tell him good game, keep it moving, talk about what they did as a team. But for them to take time out and talk about Sam Darnold and his progress and how his skill set has continued to grow and how he's going to be a star, that goes far, especially from a guy like J.J. Watt. He's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, multiple Pro Bowls, and just probably one of the best players to play D-line in the league in some time. For him to go out of his way and to give praise to Sam Darnold, he has to be doing something right.
Inside the Jets is presented by EY, building a better working world. Erik Allen and Erik Coleman here at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. We'll be joined by Jonathan Harrison later tonight. He went down fighting, too. There was a 4th and 15 play where the Jets had to have it. And, again, he's scrambling, and he threw a dart up to Robbie Anderson that was nearly completed.
Yeah, that was an impressive throw, to throw that ball on the run. Again, to give Robbie Anderson a chance to make that play and to extend the drive. If he makes that catch, who knows what would have happened. But at the same time, Sam made the smart play. He made an accurate pass. And, you would like to have seen Robbie come up with it, but yeah. I understand why he couldn't because that was a very difficult play.
And it seems foolhardy now to think about there were some people actually externally, some fans saying, why even put him in there with the Jets offense? He's going to get killed out there down the stretch. Look at what is happening and the way these guys are developing because we mentioned Robbie Anderson. Well, they're developing rhythm and chemistry that they can carry over to 2019. And, oh, by the way, number 89, Chris Herndon, a 4th-round pick out of Miami. He's going to be a big-time player in the National Football League. And watch that connection between 14 and 89, not only for the final 2 games of 2018, but for years to come.
Yeah, Chris Herndon is leading all rookie tight ends in receiving, and that just shows that this kid has a lot of talent to grow. He has a great rapport with Sam Darnold. We had him on the show earlier in the year, and he was talking about how they were roommates and how there wasn't a lot of talking between them, but on the field they started to understand one another. And I think it takes that, takes a quarterback getting to know his receivers, getting to know his tight ends to gain that trust, and it really is going to be exciting. What you're watching right now is this team grow. It's a young team. They need as many reps as possible. So while you say, oh, they're not going to the playoffs, these reps are invaluable. They need to get as many reps together to continue to grow, learn how to win those close games, learn how to fight through tough times. I think that's what you're seeing as this team, and they're getting better for it.
What are you seeing as a guy inside the locker room when you watch him play? Because I asked Jermaine Johnson about him after the game in a media scrum. He said, he's special. Jamal Adams was asked about him in a media scrum. He said, he's a bad man.
Yeah, listen, as a safety in the NFL, I'm not going to lie. There's weeks where you go into the defensive back meetings, you watch film on a quarterback, and everybody as a group says, listen, this week, if this quarterback throws over 150 yards, everybody in here is getting fined.
Oh, yeah?
There are times where you look at quarterbacks and you just see that they can't get it done. With Sam Darnold, this guy, I'm telling you, he strikes fear in the defense. He makes it so you have to respect every route run. Every time he gets out of the pocket, you have to play it from the top down and respect what he can do as a player. Yes, at the beginning of the season, he was fooled into a couple of mistakes, but he's learned from his mistakes, and every week you're seeing him continue to get better. And that's saying a lot for a rookie who started every game.
And the Jets have a lot of financial flexibility in the offseason to add some more pieces around Sam Darnold, and we'll see how they address those moves in the spring. But in the meantime, they have 2 games to play. This is their final home game this weekend as Aaron Rodgers comes to town. What do you think that's going to be like for the rookie quarterback when he stares across the sideline and sees one of the best who's ever played the game? And it's funny. People in Green Bay are saying Aaron Rodgers is struggling this season. Well, I'd like to struggle with those kind of numbers. He's completing about 61% of his passes, but he's got 23 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing lights out. He doesn't have the talent that he used to have, back in the day, but Aaron Rodgers is very dangerous. I faced him in Atlanta in the playoffs when, we were division champs. We had the first-round bye. They were a wild card team. Aaron Rodgers caught fire. They ran through the league and won the Super Bowl. So he can catch fire at any time. But for Sam Darnold to sit and watch on the other side of the sideline and see a guy like Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure it has to get him excited. He probably grew up watching him throughout high school, through college, as one of those great quarterbacks, probably molded a little bit of his game after him because he does throw well on the run just like Sam does. And it's probably going to get those competitive juices going because if you can outplay Sam Darnold, you're doing it right.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, yeah. Both California kids, and obviously Sam Darnold watched a lot of Aaron Rodgers coming up. But, oh, by the way, look at what happened to Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind Brett Favre for a couple seasons. Again, Darnold's coming in at 21. He's seeing a lot of things. He's progressing in front of our eyes. There is reason to be excited. Nobody in the organization is happy about the 4-10 record, nor should they be. But it looks like you found your long-term answer at the most important position in professional sports.
Yeah, when Sam, when you start him from week 1, you understand that you're going to go through your lumps as a team. There are going to be some good days and some bad days. But at the same time, are you continuing to get better as a team? I think you're seeing it on the defense. They're playing great football. You see it offensively, starting to find their identity, running the football, throwing play action, taking shots down the field, starting to find out who we are as a team. And that's great to see because a lot of young players, a lot of youth, a lot of free agent money to spend and add additions to this team, and I think it's going to be a good thing.
Let's flip to the defensive side of the ball real quick. The good and the bad. The pass rush, the Jets really brought it against Deshaun Watson. We thought they might be able to exploit the Texans' offensive line, and they sure did. The week before, Deshaun Watson sacked 5 times by the Indianapolis Colts. Against the New York Jets, he sacked 6 times, and Henry Anderson, who you got for a 7th-round pick on draft weekend, picks up 3 sacks, and now he has 6 on the 2018 season.
Yeah, I mean, and I was excited to watch Henry get after Deshaun Watson. And when he was on the show, he was talking about how he's just now learning how to pass rush. He's learning the techniques. He's getting his bag of goods, bag of tricks ready for the pass rush. You're starting to see it show on the field. He's mixing things up. He's always had a great motor. He's always been strong at the point of attack. But now he's starting to use his different moves, and it's great to see because he's taking some of the pressure off of Leonard Williams. He's taking some of the pressure off McClendon, and this defensive line can be good. If they continue to grow like this and these guys start to make plays.
The heat is on Jordan Jenkins because you got a sack against the Texans, and you increased your team lead to 7, but Henry Anderson is right behind you with 6, so that's going to be an interesting battle to watch, the sack race inside the Jets locker room. But DeAndre Hopkins, he got off against the Jets. Todd Bowles said it on Sunday that, listen, we didn't want to move corner across the field, in this case probably Trumaine Johnson, because the Texans move DeAndre Hopkins all over the place.
Yeah, it's tough to match up a receiver, a corner with a receiver because, one, you give up your disguise.
Okay.
If DeAndre Hopkins is lined up in the slot and Trumaine Johnson follows him in the slot, guess what? They know you're playing man-to-man. It depends on wherever he goes. And plus, I think Morris Claiborne has a tremendous skill set. There was a couple plays that Hopkins made where I don't care who you are at corner, he was making the catch, and that's what kind of player
he's an unbelievable ball player. We're off and running here on Inside the Jets. We will be right back from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium. Teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
IT orchestration stories from CDW. Our research company set out to push boundaries, but their outdated technology was pushing back. So CDW orchestrated a streamlined connectivity solution using devices powered by Intel 8th generation vPro processors. They deliver faster multitasking, improved battery life, and more storage, leading to increased performance. Streamlined productivity by Intel, IT orchestration by CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/IntelBeGreat. CDW, people who get it.
Jet fans, take your Sunday to another level with the premier Jets pregame party at Club Prime Sport. Enjoy food and drinks, games and giveaways, plus live entertainment. Elevate your game day at MetLife Stadium with a Jets experience like no other. Go to primesport.com or call 877-527-2603 today to secure your spot at the official Jets pregame hospitality at Club Prime Sport. With Prime Sport, it's more than a game, it's an experience. Primesport.com.
Let's observe the inflatable noodle man. His constant undulating entices people to look at me, look at me. He's tireless and brainless, a literal airhead. Curiously, however, the inflatable noodle man, when hearing that Geico not only saves people money, but also has an award-winning app that makes it easy to manage one's policy, he knows you should switch. Because yes, switching to Geico is a no-brainer. Just ask an inflatable noodle man. Carefully, they are unpredictable creatures.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you unwind or lose track of time, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your feet are up while the sun goes down, a Corona gets its lime. So drop a lime in and find your beach. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
They couldn't play football without us. We built this stadium. You couldn't tailgate without us. We probably built the road that got you here. Most of all, we promote economic development. That means investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. We're ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. We build the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Advance your career at Centenary University's School of Professional Studies. With accelerated scheduling and competitive pricing, it's convenient for busy adults to earn an MBA, undergraduate degree, or certificate. Centenary graduates work in hot fields like social media marketing, criminal justice, data analytics, health administration, and sports management. At Centenary University, they're committed to your success. Learn more at sps.centenaryuniversity.edu.
Darnold in the shotgun, McGuire to his right. Takes the snap, three-man rush, looks left, fires left, end zone for Roberts. He's got it. That's a Jet touchdown. Sam Darnold goes back shoulder, and Andre Roberts hauls it in for the score.
Jets Reward members, don't forget to enter the code NEUTRAL in your Jets Rewards portal during this show to earn 100 points. Eric Allen and Erik Coleman here at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. What is in store for Sam Darnold this weekend against the Packers in terms of Mike Pettin-led defense? This is a pupil of Rex Ryan, and Pettin was here for a number of years as well.
Yeah, well, you're going to see a lot of pressures, and I think that's a good thing. I think Sam, he excels when teams pressure him. It makes things. I think it simplifies things for him. He's athletic enough to break the pocket whenever he does get that pressure, and that's when you see him improvising, when you see that pressure. So it's going to be a good matchup for him. I like the matchups with Robbie Anderson on the perimeter. I like the matchups at the skill positions, and I think there are some weaknesses that the Jets can expose.
I was talking to Bart Scott about this today, and he said that, hey, put a lot of screens into the game plan this week against this defense. Why would that be effective?
Well, you know, when a team pressures a lot, when they blitz, there's not a lot of help. You know, when you're in an all-out blitz, the corners, the safeties have to play from 8-9 yards off just because they don't have any help. So that sets up a screen very well. Well, if you can get a hat on the screen, you have an opportunity to have a lot of big plays when you match up a screen versus an all-out blitz.
Do you anticipate some cloud formations where the defense is? It looks like they're just standing up and everybody and we've seen this from Rex and Pettin before, where you don't know how to identify at times, or it might confuse you a little bit because of what they're doing up front.
Yeah, you know, we did that as well with Mangini. And the great thing about that is sometimes when you bring an all-out blitz from that look or you back out into a zone, you can confuse the quarterback.
Sure.
But the negative side is if that offensive line points out the center of the blitz and they're able to pick it up, you expose yourself to some big plays. So, you know, I don't expect to see a lot of it because, again, the Jets have shown they will take a deep shot. They will throw the ball down the field. And if they do that and hit the Packers a few times, that'll get them out of that defense quick.
What do you expect from the Packers now? 5-8-1. This is unfamiliar territory, and they let Mike McCarthy go in season. Joe Philbin right now, the interim head coach. They just lost a game to the Chicago Bears. The Bears just clinched the NFC North. So it's going to be a very interesting how this Packers team comes out over these final two games.
Yeah, I mean, they should be motivated. You know, the fact that the organization fired their head coach shows them that you aren't playing well, we will get rid of you. So guys are going to be playing for their jobs. I expect some trick plays. I expect them to leave no stone unturned trying to defeat the Jets. You know, you may see an onside kick. You may see some gadget plays, but you are going to get their best effort. You're going to see you're going to get their best punch early. If the Jets can weather that storm, then they're going to be fine. They're going to be if they can continue to run the ball, stick to the run, hit the open receivers in the passing game, I think things will be good because this defense, matchup-wise, can cover the receivers of the Packers.
Okay, we'll get into the matchup more in a second. Pro Bowl rosters will be released Tuesday night. Is second-year safety Jamal Adams deserving of the nod this year?
Absolutely, absolutely. When you watch Jamal play, when you watch this Jets defense play, he's playing at another level than everyone on the field in both defenses. You know, he plays a high intensity. He plays the game the right way. He makes great tackles. He's been getting after the quarterback. He's really doing it all as a safety. Everything you could ask for in the safety, Jamal is doing it. He's leading the team, and I think he is a special player and one of those guys that no matter what team you're watching, you're going to notice 33 on the field. So I definitely think that he deserves the Pro Bowl nod. If not, I understand why. The team hasn't been winning. You know, typically these awards go to teams that are successful and they're having winning seasons. But he's going to be a Pro Bowler for a very long time playing the way he does.
As a guy who played the position in the National Football League, what stands out to you most athletically about what he can do on the field?
Well, you know, he has it all. You know, he's a very physical safety, but he can cover. He can support in the run game. He's an excellent blitzer. He makes great open field tackles. And when the tough part about an open field tackle, the enemy of any tackle is space. And Jamal closes space quicker than any safety that I've seen in a long time. You know, it's seldom that you see him get shook in the middle of the field. And if he does miss the tackle, guess what? That runner is going back to the cavalry where that defensive line is coming, where the linebackers are coming from, and you seldom see him give up a big play.
He's so wonderfully gifted, but where does the nonstop motor come from, do you think? Because even in the facility, he never stops talking. He never stops moving. It's always go. And people, sometimes you're wondering, well, is this fabricated? No, this is who the guy is.
Yeah, TTG. He's trained to go. You know, that's a guy who, you know, you can tell he takes this game very seriously. You know, it's more than about the money. It's more than a lot of the material things that come with this game. Jamal plays the game like he loves it. You know, he has a passion for it. He bleeds it. And you can tell by the way he plays. He doesn't have to say anything about his feelings towards the game. You can see it when you turn on that tape. He's high intensity. He cares. You can see him holding his teammates accountable when they make mistakes. You can see him praising them. Great leader. And he definitely leads by example.
He took a lot of pride entering this season about his coverage ability, because there were a few plays that happened his rookie season where maybe he was an inch off, or maybe Gronkowski made a catch right over him. He went into this season, I think, on a mission to say, I can cover. I can play in the back end because he talked after the New England game when, again, he neutralized Gronkowski for a second consecutive game. He said that, people aren't respecting me out here, you know? Like he took it personal.
Yeah, as he should. He's a prideful player. He takes his game serious, and I love that he came out and played particularly well against Gronkowski, a matchup that they were exposing last year as a rookie. As a rookie, you see a lot of things that you've never seen before. The different wrinkles in routes. The coverage is different. You can't contact the receivers down the field. And these big, strong tight ends that can run, they can expose you a little bit. And I think it took that year to make Jamal focus on his coverage skills. I think he's a better player because of it, and he's going to continue to grow from all of his weaknesses this year.
Okay, so all the guys say, and this is the coaching term, his eyes are better. What does that mean?
Well, as a safety, there's a rule. If you see too much, then you see nothing. You have to focus on your particular keys, and that will take you to the ball every time. As a middle of the field safety, I'm looking at the uncovered lineman, to get my run pass read initially. Then you have to look at your threats, your vertical threats, and those things kind of take you to those plays. That was one thing that helped me play as many years as I did because I wasn't the biggest, I wasn't the fastest, but I could read my keys, I had good eyes, and it enabled me to get to the play. Jamal being a superior player, being a great athlete with that great eye discipline, sky's the limit.
He seems to be naturally strong, too. Well, I'm not saying he doesn't put in the work in the weight room, but you just mentioned it. He's such a sure tackler, and when he hits people, he makes them feel it.
Yeah, he has a great 6-inch punch. That's what we call it. It's when you get up to that ball carrier and you roll your hips through the player, you can't teach that. That's something that's natural. That's something that he was born with. He takes space well, and once he gets to the point of contact, he rolls those hips and explodes through every tackle. And that's what makes it fun to see. Every once in a while he may miss one, but 9 times out of 10 he's going to make that ball carrier pay.
So the hope is, from a Jets perspective, that you get Marcus May back next year. He was just limited to 6 games in 2018 because he's a guy who I think can really flourish with Adams, and we should not forget about him when we're thinking about the future of this Jets team.
Yeah, he's that solid player that you can depend on to be in the middle of the field, to be in the right place, to cover that post, to make that open field tackle. When I look at Jamal and Marcus May, I get a little bit of glimpse of Troy Polamalu and Ryan Clark. Okay. Ryan Clark is a sure tackler who's always going to be where he's supposed to be, make those open field tackles. Troy Polamalu is going to be all over the field making splash plays. That's what I see out of Jamal.
Well, how much freedom does the coaching staff give Jamal, like you said? Because in Pittsburgh, I remember we go there, and sometimes you'd wonder how much was Troy going within the game plan and how much was Polamalu just doing his deal, and we're going to cover for what he does because he's such a great player.
Yeah, well, Troy's circumstance was different than any other safety that I've ever seen. I played against Troy Polamalu when I was a true freshman in college, and there was a time where he was at SC. He was moving around. He lined up at nose tackle and actually rushed the passer. And there was nobody in the middle of the field, but they got through the down. He's one of those players that's special. I don't think Jamal has that much freedom. I don't think he needs that much freedom. He's just he makes big plays within the defense, and that's what's important.
But do you give him more freedom because he is a freak athlete and he's such a productive player for you, and he can do more things than other people in a football field?
Yeah, he does. He can do more, and you can tell that he studies the film. So if he's going to break on something, it's because he saw a tendency in that film study. It's because they gave up a play, or they showed their hand in a play where he's going to make the play. I think the more he plays, the more he gets experience, the more you give him freedom.
He's got to be pumped up about this one because it's Aaron Rodgers coming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
But he plays Tom Brady twice a year, and he's gotten his feet wet with him now. But Aaron Rodgers is another one that he can check off the list.
Yeah, when you're a great player, you want to play against the best and see how you match up with the best players. Playing against Tom Brady, playing against Aaron Rodgers, you get to see where you are as a player. If you can make some plays against Aaron Rodgers, if you can limit him to not going off and throwing a bunch of touchdowns, then it shows you that you are a very good player. And I think the best players want to play against that best competition.
So the Pro Bowl rosters will be revealed tomorrow night. We'll see if Jamal Adams gets the nod for the first time in his NFL career. I would anticipate he'll be going to the NFL Pro Bowl a number of times throughout his career. I think Jason Myers, who had a tough night the other night, missing a couple extra points, but has had a great season, is worthy as well. And Andre Roberts has had the best return season of anybody in the National Football League, bar none. We will be right back after this on Inside the Jets.
We haven't seen a superstar like this in years.
You're not kidding, Bob. The people need to know about this standout.
Introducing this year's most sought-after rookie, the M&T Bank Jets debit card. New on the scene, this fantastic plastic stands 2.125 inches tall and weighs a lean 0.2 ounces. This small but mighty paying machine is sure to be charging through checkout lines all season long.
Hey Jets fans, get your hands on the exclusive Jets debit card with Easy Choice Checking. It's free from a monthly maintenance fee and free from a minimum balance requirement, leaving you free from worry.
You know, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this powerhouse everywhere soon.
No doubt about it. I want one on my team.
So show your love for the Jets and save on fees today. Rush to any M&T Bank branch or mtb.com/Jets today. M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Other transaction and service fees, including insufficient funds and overdraft fees, may apply to this account. Member FDIC.
Okay, game time, boys.
Coach, where are my pads?
Pads? No time for that now.
But, Coach.
Go on now. Get out there. Hey!
The right protection always matters, at the line and for your business. Selective Insurance knows what businesses like yours need to stay safe and win. Visit selective.com to find an agent near you.
Bet online, just like in a casino, anywhere in New Jersey with 888. Yes, casino games, live dealer, and more at 888.com. It's fun, fun, fun at 888. So bet now. 888 is a proud sponsor of the JETS Jets. 888 encourages responsible gaming. Players must be 21 or older to play and in the state of New Jersey. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, football fans. This is Director Jared Maples with the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. It's our mission to protect New Jersey with our federal, state, and local partners. Of course, nobody knows our communities better than the people who live there. That's where you can help. If you see something that you suspect is out of the ordinary, report it. Together, we can keep our state safe. Remember, if you see something, say something. To learn more about what to look for, visit njhomelandsecurity.gov.
Hey, Jets fans, New Jersey Motor Vehicle Chief Administrator Sue Fulton here to welcome you back for a brand new season of action-packed NFL football and to warn you about the dangers of texting while driving. Sure, fines and penalties are steep, but did you know you're also 23 times more likely to get into an accident if you text and drive? Or that taking your eyes off the road for just 5 seconds at highway speeds is like traveling the length of a football field blindfolded? That's not a winning drive, Jets fans. Learn more at justdrive.com.
They couldn't play football without us. We built this stadium. You couldn't tailgate without us. We probably built the road that got you here. Most of all, we promote economic development. That means investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. We're ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. We build the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Advance your career at Centenary University's School of Professional Studies. With accelerated scheduling and competitive pricing, it's convenient for busy adults to earn an MBA, undergraduate degree, or certificate. Centenary graduates work in hot fields like social media marketing, criminal justice, data analytics, health administration, and sports management. At Centenary University, they're committed to your success. Learn more at sps.centenaryuniversity.edu.
Darnold in the shotgun takes the snap, drops back, looks right, scrambles, gets to the 5-yard line, pop pass back in the end zone. That's caught for a Jet touchdown by Robbie Anderson. Sam Darnold improvising in the pocket. A little jump pass to Robbie Anderson. 30 seconds to go before halftime, and the Jets have their first touchdown of the night.
Welcome back to Inside the Jets. We are broadcasting live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Erik Allen alongside Erik Coleman. We talked a little bit about it earlier in the show about the Jets' decision to play sides against DeAndre Hopkins, who you could make the argument right now that Hopkins is as good as any receiver in the National Football League. But this week they have a decision to make with Davante Adams because he is Aaron Rodgers' #1 target. He already has 1,300 yards receiving. Do you do the same thing, or do you consider moving? Because maybe Green Bay plays him to a certain side and doesn't move him as much as DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know. I haven't looked at the game film just yet.
Yeah, he's a great player, Davante Adams. He's a very good player, and Aaron Rodgers, makes receivers, I think, a little better than they are just because of his skill set. I don't think he's of the caliber of
the DeAndre,
Hopkins.
yeah.
So I think the Jets will play it true. Tremaine Johnson and Mo Claiborne are more than capable of covering receivers. Yes, when you play a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to get his. He's going to get his close to 100 yards, and you just have to contain him and try to limit everybody else, which I think the Jets did a pretty good job of. When it comes to Davante Adams, I think these corners, Mo Claiborne, Tremaine Johnson, Buster, if he's in the slot, can hold him down.
Let's talk about the holding call on Mo Claiborne. A lot was discussed about that after the game. That was the eventual game-winning drive for the Houston Texans where they cashed in with the DeAndre Hopkins touchdown. But it was a third-down play. Deshaun Watson throws it up and threw the ball out of bounds. There was some hand fighting. Mo Claiborne called for holding. I didn't see it.
I don't like it. Obviously I'm a defensive back, so I'm going to fight a lot of plays. But there has to be a point where you have to be able to keep your ground. If he hits me, I can hit you back just to maintain your position. And for them to call that play at that junction of the game, it's a very tough call.
Just like you guys on the field when you were a player, I think you have to have a feel for the game. And I know these guys have tough jobs. I just thought that was a tough point of the ball game.
Yeah, if you're going to call it then, why not call it the entire game?
You got to call it the entire game.
You got to set the tone early and let the corners know we're going to call those plays. We're going to call those ticky-tack fouls. You see it in basketball all the time. When the referees, at the beginning of the game, all right, we're going to blow those. Yeah. We're going to blow the whistle on that one. That didn't happen all game, and then all of a sudden it's a 3rd down and 5 at a crucial point in the game, and you throw the flag. It was a tough call.
And D-Hop is a physical receiver himself.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when he's running routes, it's not just him receiving contact, he's dishing it, right?
Yeah, a lot of those guys, they're pushing off. They're grabbing jerseys. They're trying to do whatever they can to get their leverage, to get the advantage. And for a defensive back who's already at the disadvantage, playing backward, running backwards, reacting off the receiver, it makes it very difficult to play that position. And, you kind of feel for the corners nowadays. They're definitely earning their money out there playing that position.
Is there anything you can do differently inside the red zone, the game-winning touchdown? Morris Claiborne had tremendous coverage. Do you try to scheme it up differently in terms of making sure – that you got a safety over?
It's tough, because, you could say that, let's double team him down there, but then you leave the middle of the field wide open.
Okay.
Then you're susceptible to Watson running the football, extending the plays. I thought Mo Claiborne played that textbook. I watched it from the beginning. His technique from that press coverage, he shadowed him, got hands on him, was running with him, was in perfect phase. DeAndre Hopkins just is a big boy, and they call that the 50-50 ball, and DeAndre Hopkins has such strong hands, and he's such a great athlete that he's going to make those plays more than 50% of the time.
How is Aaron Rodgers going to put stress on the defense?
He puts stress on the defense similar to what Sam is doing now.
Okay.
He can once the initial play is broken, he improvises probably the best out of any quarterback in the league. When he gets out of the pocket, he's not just throwing deep comebacks. He's not throwing crossing routes. He can throw go routes. He can throw post routes while on the run because he has such a big arm. He is limited a little bit with that knee injury that's been nagging him all season, but Aaron Rodgers has a huge arm. He's very confident, and he has that cockiness where he's going to throw it and try to get into a tight space.
So we talked about Jamal for a long time tonight. What do the Jets safeties have to do against a guy like A-Rod? Because Darryl Roberts went out with a sprained toe against the Houston Texans. We'll have to see about his availability later in the week. There was Rontez Miles who was finishing the game for the Jets. But what do they have to do? What are the points of emphasis against a guy like that? Because he's so athletic and he can make any throw. One of the most unique players we've ever seen.
Yeah, in my opinion, you have to play things from the top down.
Okay.
You can't give up big plays to Aaron Rodgers. You have to make him beat you methodically down the field because as great as he is, he does make mistakes, and he'll throw you a few if given the opportunity. So you have to play him from top down. Don't give up the big plays. Allow him to throw those short ones, make the tackle. The Green Bay offense has been, based on catch and run. Catch and run for all these years, Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, catching slant routes and running. If they can tackle well in the open field, limit the big plays, I think that's the game plan for the Jets.
But do you think he's taking less shots than in the past? Because, like we mentioned before, guy has only 3 interceptions.
Yeah, he's definitely, not taking as many chances as he did in the past. And I think that's because his confidence in his receivers. He doesn't have a full confidence in the whole crew. Before, he had you didn't know these guys a couple years back, but then Jordy Nelson started to develop. Randall Cobb started to develop. And you started seeing these players, Jennings started to develop. I don't think he has that rapport. And I think he's a little nervous with the injuries he's had. He doesn't want to take the shots like he did in the past. And so you're not seeing him take as many chances as he used to.
What does it mean to you as a player, the final home game of the season, and wanting to go out on a high note in front of the home faithful as a guy who was in that position like a lot of those guys who are going to exit the tunnel at MetLife this weekend?
Well, it means a lot because, first of all, you want to reward your fans for their dedication, for coming through the tough weather, sticking with you through thick and thin, and you always want to go into the offseason on a positive note. Leaving a good taste in your fans' mouth, leaving a good taste in your mouth. You gain that momentum going into the offseason, and it gives you something to work for. Yes, we won our last 2 games. We have the momentum. If we can just continue to put that together, not beat ourselves, who knows what happens. Then the offseason, you go with your goals. You play smart football. You don't beat yourself. You make big plays. And you have something to work on going into the offseason. So I think it's very important that the Jets, in their season at home, on a high note.
Inside the Jets is supported by M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Erik Allen and Erik Coleman here at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits. As a defensive back, when you look at the schedule and you see that you're ending with Aaron Rodgers and then Tom Brady, what are you feeling?
You love the challenge. You got to end the season on a high note. You're playing against the best of the best. Let's show the world what I can do against some of the great quarterbacks of the game. If you're a defensive lineman, let me get my stats. Let me get a sack against Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Let's go out and beat these Giants. Let's slay these Giants at the end of the year, ruin their season. I know that Tom Brady's trying to fight for a home field advantage right now. I'm trying to ruin whatever I can for the Patriots if I'm the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, he's been probably the best quarterback the game has seen in the last 10 years. Been playing great football. Show the league that you can compete against these guys. If you play as a team, don't make mistakes, don't beat yourself, you can play with anybody.
Darnold has been one of the primary reasons, no doubt about that. But what has been the difference of the New York Jets since after Buffalo?
They've been very to start to step up. He had 11 targets last week. The beginning of the year, he wasn't getting those targets. He wasn't getting open like he is now. He's starting to find his rhythm. He's starting to catch those difficult passes and is giving Sam more confidence in him.
That's very impressive, what you're saying about the offensive line, because you got Jonathan Harrison, who's playing center. Mm-hmm. He was a reserve for you, a former Indianapolis Colt, who's come in and take over for Spencer Long. Spencer Long, he takes over for James Carpenter, a fine interior player for you, one of your team captains. And then really tough break for one of the nicest guys on this roster. Brandon Shell goes down with an injury against the Houston Texans, and he was carted off the field. So now the Jets might be lining up with Brent Qualley at right tackle for these final 2 games.
Yeah, it shows a lot. First of all, you have a great offensive line coach, and then second, you have great chemistry in that room where everyone has a good relationship with one another. There's trust in the man next to you, and that you're on the same page when it comes to making those calls for the protection. You're setting the tone offensively, running the football. I think it's a credit to the chemistry of that group, and you need your offensive line to set the tone if you're going to have a successful game.
I like Harrison's athleticism has long opened up your eyes what he's been able to do at guard.
Yeah, I mean, his versatility is great. You know, I know that he did start his career off at guard, but he is brought here to play center. And to show his versatility and to be able to move, to slide over to the next position, it's a tough task. You know, you get used to, we're all creatures of habit. You know, if you're a left corner, you're used to playing on the left side.
Right.
If you're a center, you're used to snapping the ball and then blocking. You know, to go over there and play the left guard, have to communicate. You're playing in more space. It's difficult, and you have to give a lot of credit to Spencer Long for making that adjustment.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, he's done a nice job, and that's where he started his career, but he was brought here to be this team's center. But when Karp went down, he moves over, and Jonathan Harrison has done a real fine job at the center position. Well, we got one more segment, but we got to take one final break. We'll be right back here on Inside the Jets.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium. Teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
As a young boy, Gavin loved playing football. He lived and breathed it, wanted to go pro. Why, he'd spent hours upon hours just practicing his touchdown dances. And one day, while getting fitted for bifocals, he realized he was never much good at throwing, or running, or catching, or even kicking. Yeah, Gavin's chances of playing pro football were looking like 4th and long. Very long. But he did hear how Geico could save him money on car insurance, so he switched and saved. Then he did kind of a touchdown dance. At least he was still good at that.
Bet online, just like in a casino, anywhere in New Jersey with 888. Yes, casino games, live dealer, and more at 888.com. It's fun, fun, fun at 888. So bet now. 888 is a proud sponsor of the JETS Jets. 888 encourages responsible gaming. Players must be 21 or older to play and in the state of New Jersey. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We haven't seen a superstar like this in years.
You're not kidding, Bob. The people need to know about this standout.
Introducing this year's most sought-after rookie, the M&T Bank Jets debit card. New on the scene, this fantastic plastic stands 2.125 inches tall and weighs a lean 0.2 ounces. This small but mighty paying machine is sure to be charging through checkout lines all season long.
Hey, Jets fans, get your hands on the exclusive Jets debit card with Easy Choice Checking. It's free from a monthly maintenance fee and free from a minimum balance requirement, leaving you free from worry.
You know, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this powerhouse everywhere soon.
No doubt about it. I want one on my team.
So show your love for the Jets and save on fees today. Rush to any M&T Bank branch or mtb.com/Jets today. M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Other transaction and service fees, including insufficient funds and overdraft fees, may apply to this account. Member FDIC.
Cyber attack, data breach, malware, botnets. Think your business is immune? It's not. Malware is alive and well on most corporate networks, so you need active malware detection. You need CDW. CDW has a complimentary service called Threat Check. It passively monitors your network to detect malicious traffic and other risks. CDW's security experts will then analyze and explain the results and provide security recommendations. Learn more at cdw.com/threatcheck. CDW, people who get it.
They couldn't play football without us. We built this stadium. You couldn't tailgate without us. We probably built the road that got you here. Most of all, we promote economic development. That means investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. We're ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. We build the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Advance your career at Centenary University's School of Professional Studies. With accelerated scheduling and competitive pricing, it's convenient for busy adults to earn an MBA, undergraduate degree, or certificate. Centenary graduates work in hot fields like social media marketing, criminal justice, data analytics, health administration, and sports management. At Centenary University, they're committed to your success. Learn more at sps.centenaryuniversity.edu.
4th and 1. At the Texans' 25-yard line, Sam Darnold in the shotgun, Cannon to his right. Takes the snap, drops the throw, looks right, throws right. Robbie Anderson is able to hold on to the football. He walled off Jonathan Joseph and makes a first down catch.
Remember, Jets fans, you can stream Inside the Jets live through the Jets app presented by M&T Bank. Go to the App Store or Google Play now and search official New York Jets. Eric Allen and Erik Coleman here at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. Do you have all your holiday shopping taken care of, E. Coleman?
You know what? For the most part, I do. I got my wife her a couple of gifts. I can maybe get her another one, but my kids are taken care of, thanks to Amazon.
Oh, yeah?
It makes it easy.
And you took care of the kids shopping?
I took care of most of it. I'm proud this year because typically my wife does it. She went and got the clothes and the outfits and everything like that, but I got the toys.
Okay.
Or Santa got the toys, I'm sorry.
Did your wife know, did you know what your wife wanted, or you did that on your own?
You know what? I have notes on my phone. So whenever during the year she mentions, "Oh, I like that," I'll take a little note and try to surprise her with some of the gifts.
All right, you are a good man, E. Coleman, and you look sharp tonight.
Thank
I
you.
like the coat.
Thank you, brother.
Handkerchief
You
is
too,
solid
man.
as well. Yeah,
the best dressed duo on radio,
and on all the Jets platforms. Which it is the holiday season, so next week. We are going to be here at Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits on December 26th. So mark your calendars. That is Wednesday night. E. Coleman and I will be back here. We'll be breaking down the Jets and the Green Bay Packers, and we'll preview the Jets' final game of the 2018 season against the New England Patriots. What do you see as far as the AFC landscape right now? Who is the best team in this conference? Because I watched some games Sunday after we got a little bit of a break after the Jets and the Texans played Saturday night, and I can't get a feel for any of this right now.
Yeah, I mean, the playoff scenario is going to be crazy, once the playoffs start because, any given Sunday, as they say. But when you look at, the records, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Chargers, you got to throw the Patriots in there, and all these teams have shown that they can be beat any given Sunday. You look at the Chiefs, their defense slacks a lot.
Yeah.
You look at the Chargers, they're inconsistent. And the Patriots have shown that they can get beat. They got shut out by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So everything is up for grabs. And there's such a fine line between the teams that don't make the playoffs and the teams that are winning divisions.
Listen, the Patriots are the king of the AFC East. There's no doubt about that.
Now.
They've won it 10 consecutive years, and all the power to them. They should get all the praise and the accolades. But with that being said, are you seeing the Patriots in a different lens than you've had in the past? Because when I watch the Patriots, I say not a lot of explosion in terms of offensive plays. Sometimes they struggle. This guy's an all-time great at the quarterback position, and I'm taking nothing away from the Patriots. But defensively, they seem middle of the pack. Mm-hmm. Right now, this doesn't look like the same team than we've seen in the past.
Yeah, they're not. They're not the big bullies anymore. People aren't afraid of them. It's kind of like when Mike Tyson fought Buster Douglas and Buster Douglas hit him in the mouth.
42-1.
Yeah, and it changed the way his career went. I think you're starting to see that with the Patriots. Tom Brady, yes, he's a great quarterback. Arguably one of the best to do it. He's starting to slow down a little bit. You're starting to see some inaccuracies. He's starting to overthrow receivers. He doesn't have the talent around him as he used to in the past and the run game. So I think that their time is limited. They've had a heck of a run. Done a great job of being consistent throughout the years. But at the end of the day, it's got to end at some point. And I think you're starting to see the other teams in the AFC East gear up to take over that spot.
Do you think the Jets and the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Miami's kind of in a different kind of I look at them in a different kind of perspective. I see a lot of parallels between the Jets and the Bills right now. They had their young quarterbacks in place. You got Sam Darnold. You got Josh Allen. You got some defensive pieces in place, and you have a lot of money to spend in the offseason. Do you see both of those teams potentially taking a step forward next year?
Yeah, well, the first thing that you have to win a division is a great quarterback. And I think both teams have young quarterbacks who are showing a lot of promise. I like the Jets quarterback personally.
Yes.
I think Josh Allen has a lot of athleticism, but he has some things to work on. Sam Darnold is a very complete quarterback. I feel like he's gonna be there. He's gonna be available. He's not gonna put his body on the line as much as Josh Allen. So I think that he's the quarterback to lead the Jets to the top of the AFC East. And when you look at the playoff scenario, when you see the AFC, the championship, and the NFC championship, it's typically 4 great quarterbacks playing against one another.
Sure.
And you've got to have a great quarterback to be in the competition. And the Jets have it along with a very good defense. They can put some more pieces around it. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, because it proved to be an anomaly last year with the Jacksonville Jaguars because Blake Bortles, he played pretty well down the stretch, and a lot of people were thinking, Jacksonville's going to be in the mix again.
Yeah.
They're not.
Well, every once in a while, a team with a great defense makes that step. You see it with the Baltimore Ravens. You've seen it throughout the years. Every couple of years, a great defense helps propel that quarterback, and a good running game helps out as well. But I like what I see with the Jets because they do have a great defense. They're going to add on that. And they have a great quarterback. So, that's why you have to be confident. You have to be patient with the process. I think the Jets are taking strides to become that great team, and it's just going to be a matter of time before.
And listen, you should go to MetLife Stadium on Sunday because it's the Jets and the Packers. They don't come here very often. That's Aaron Rodgers, and you get a chance to see Sam Darnold for the final time in 2018 at home anyway. And he continues to ascend. We do as well here on Inside the Jets. Thanks to everybody for coming out tonight. Remember, next week we'll be back on December 26th.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you